This is the all-new 2023 Canyon Spectral 125 AL6, and on paper, it could be the best value short travel trail bike on the market. And I want it to become my main bike, but in order to do that, it needs to be able to do three things: jumping, drops, and climbing. So let's go find out. I have high hopes for this bike. The last time I bought a short travel trail bike, I felt like I was deceived. This Canyon Spectral has 140 millimeters front travel and 125 rear, a step above the Yeti's 130, 115. But let me tell you the crazy thing about this geometry and why I dropped down from a large to a medium. So there's really three geometry numbers that I look for, and that's head tube angle, seat tube length, and reach. This bike has a 64-degree head tube angle, which is insane. That's as slack as some enduro bikes. And I've actually heard this Spectral 125 called a short travel enduro bike before, so I'm expecting it to be super stable on the downhill compared to the Yeti's 65.8 degree with the angled headset. Then there's seat tube length, and this one is important to me, and you might laugh, but I really hate it when the slam seat is just still too high. And this frame has an even lower seat tube compared to my Yeti, so that's a huge plus. Then the reach, which is basically the area between the pedals and the head tube, and this is like the room for your knees when you're pedaling. The large Yeti has a 450 millimeter reach, but this medium Canyon has a 460 millimeter reach. So even though it's a size smaller, it's actually bigger in a lot of ways. More on that later. So this bike was $3,500, and it's a really good value. It has so many great parts, like I'm talking no need to upgrade at all. Most bikes we buy always have something that need to be replaced eventually, and as much as I like to upgrade bikes, sometimes you just want a set it and forget it bike. And real quick, I bought this bike full price and have no affiliation with Canyon whatsoever. I just liked it. Then with shipping and sales tax, the total came out to $3,750, a pretty good chunk of change, but I still think it's an amazing value. Hold on, I wanna hit this trail. Phew, that was fun, but man, this bike is pretty heavy, and I really think that's gonna hold me back from really understanding the true potential of this bike. So I hope I can figure it out by the end of this video. Well, the good news is the climbing feels great and the shifting is awesome. And this SLX drivetrain would normally run you about 400 to 450 bucks. And the SLX 4-piston brakes would run you another 450 bucks. And man, these rotors are huge, 200 in the front and 180 in the rear. It's crazy, the rider area where I'm pedaling feels smaller than my Yeti, even though the reach is bigger. And that's because of the seat tube angle. It's 76.5 degrees, and the Yeti is a 74, so this forward seat tube actually feels really good. I like it. Oh, that was a negative. Around that hairpin, I feel like this fork wants to just jackknife or just turns 90 degrees. I'm kind of fighting it. And I guess that's a downfall of having such a slack head tube angle. But let's keep going. All right, well, we made it to the top, and this is the true test, the downhill. These Bentonville trails can get pretty rough, and there's a lot of drops I've been dying to hit, but I don't dare clap out my Yeti suspension. That bike cannot handle drops. Yeah! Dude, that handled the drop so dang good. Wow, that's impressive. I really hope there's no break-in period for the suspension, because Man, I sent that one pretty deep. And this Fox 36 rhythm is really nice. I'm super glad they put a beefier fork on here instead of a 34mm stanchion, which I had, and it's kind of flexy. This thing feels solid. They also put a Fox Flow X Performance, and this is a $520 shock. They really pulled out all the stops for this bike. Even the levers have integration, so the shifters are bolted to the brake lever, same with the dropper lever. I really like that kind of stuff. But the elephant in the room is, yeah, this is an aluminum frame, and I'm coming off a carbon frame. Carbon, it's cool and all, but once you've had it, it's not everything it's lived up to. I'm really tired of babying the carbon frame, and that Yeti just felt so flexy. I don't know why. And this Canyon feels really stiff, and I really think it's gonna hold up to the beating of the Bentonville trails. Now I'm on top of a castle. It's a brand new jump line in Bentonville that has some pretty good jumps with some proper lips. So let's hit it. Okay, I just felt something crazy. This is like a little S-turn here with a roller, and right here you get weightless going into this turn. And on the Yeti is where I would get a little nervous feeling on the bike, but this Canyon has so much traction. I just can hop into the turn and rock. I don't know what it is. Jared, what do you think it is?
It's totally the wheelbase.
Really? Not the leverage ratio or anything like that?
No, so I think this bike's about 50mm longer than your last bike, so that'll do it.
Oh, so it's the long wheelbase that I love. All right, well, let's wrap it up with these jumps. Yes, dude. Oh man, this bike jumps really well, and I think the fitment is just so perfect for me. But there is something holding me back, and it's these DT Swiss wheels with the tubes, and they're pretty heavy. So check out this video here, and I'm gonna upgrade this bike with some carbon wheels and a couple other things to really unlock this bike's full potential and see if I want this to be my main bike.